Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu mavid Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Aryati Tarasivara Dhagavarisa Gugayil Arivai Rami Paramatuman Arunachala Ramanan Parival Ulam Muruganala Paranarndidu Guhayarndu Arivam Vizhitiravai Nisam Arivai Adu Veliyam Annamalayai Adiyenai ஆண்ட அன்றே ஆவியுடல் கொண்டாய் எனக்கோர் குறையுண்டோ குறையும் குணமும் நீ அல்லால் என்னேன் இவற்றை என்னுயிரே எண்ணம் எதுவோ அது செய்வாய் கண்ணே உந்தன் கழழினையில் காதர் பெருக்கே தருவாயே கண்ணே உந்தன் கழழினையில் காதர் பெருக்கே தருவாயே. ஓம் அதிமதுர சாபஹஸ்தாம் அபரிமிதாம் மோதபான சௌபாக்யாம் அருணாம் அதிசய கருணாம் அபிநவ குலசுந்தரீம் வந்தே. ஓம் ஐம் ஹ்ரீம் ஸ்ரீம் வசுதேவசுதம் தேவம் கம்சசானூரமர்தனம் தேவகீ பரமானந்தம் கிருஷ்ணம் வந்தே ஜகத்குரும் Krishnam Bandhe Jagadgurum. Today morning we saw what is tapascharya, austerity with respect to the body, with respect to the speech and with respect to the mind. See, they are the pointers showing us how we have to practice tapascharya. And regarding the body, it is very clearly said we have to respect the elders, Deva, Devatas, Dvija, the Brahmanas, Guru, the Acharyas, and Prajna, the Jnani Mahatmas. We have to respect them. Respecting means what? We have to worship them. That is the tapas regarding the body. And also it is said Shaucham, Arjavam, we have to be clean in our habits. Arjavam, straightforward, then Brahmacharya, self-control, and Ahimsa. So all these things are the austerities with respect to the body. Not, which is not sanctioned by the scripture. As we told you in the morning, like sleeping on the bed of thorn and other nonsensical things. No. These are the real tapasya. And with regards to speech, Anudvekagaram Vagyam, meaning the Vakyam which is not hurting, Satyam, the truth, Priyam, sweet, and Hitam, which is beneficial, and Swadhyaya Abhyasanam, and then the study of scriptures or the Japa, Nama Japa. So these are all the tapasya with respect to the Vak, speech. And then with respect to the mind, we saw Manaprasadaha, mind should be kept quiet, serenity of the mind, Saumyatvam, the cheerful attitude of the mind which reflects in the face, and Maunam, not only not talking, not even chattering within, Atma Vinigraha, meaning one controlling oneself, the senses and the mind. bhava samshuddhihi, and in our interactions in the world we have to be very pure in our intentions, in our motives, and we should not be crooked, cheating. So that is called as bhava samshuddhihi. Iti etat tapo manasa muchyate. So these are all manasa tapas. And then even these three tapasya should be practiced with shraddhaya paraya. With so much of shraddha and bhakti we have to practice. Taptam tapaha tat trividam naraihi apalakangshibihi yuktaihi. Not expecting any results or any fruits. We have to do it for the sake of tapasya. And also yuktaihi, with the mind in the wherever we are practicing our study, the mind should be there. So that is sattvic tapas. Only if you do tapas so that others will recognize me, respect me, worship me, that is rajasika tapas. Satkara mana pujartam. Like this, they talk very high about me and they invite me, all those things, this pada prakshalanam, etc. If that is the attitude, then it is very wrong. And dhambena, to show off. Kriyate tadiha proktam rajasam chalam adruvam. Chalam means what? It is not permanent, it is temporary. You will get bored soon. And adruvam, it will not yield any result. Adruvam. So such austerities have no meaning. And tamasic means what? Mudagrahena. And because of foolish ideas, he does something which is not sanctioned by the scripture, and because of which he tortures his own body. And not only that, parasya utsadhanartam, in order to destroy somebody else. Such tapasya practiced in order to hurt or destroy somebody, that is tamasic tapasya. Why? Because the intentions are not pure. So therefore, that is tamasic. So till this point we have seen. Similarly, now he is going to start the topic of dhanam. With respect to dhanam also, what is sattvic, what is rajasic, and what is tamasic. Now we shall chant the verse number 20. Dhatavyamiti yadhanam dhiyate nupakarine desha kale cha patre cha tadhanam sattvikam smrutam dhatavyamiti yadhanam dhiyate nupakarine deshe kale cha patre cha tadhanam sattvikam smrutam. Tadhanam, that charity, sattvikam smrutam. Remember, it is very sattvic. How? Dhatavyamiti yadhanam. Why I am giving? Because it is my dharma. Dhatavyamiti. God has given me, so I want to share. That is my dharma, not for anything else. See, one thing, that is great joy in giving. The another thing is, the Lord has given me and it is my dharma. Dhatavyam. So therefore I have to give. With this attitude you give. Not with the attitude that I am the giver and he is a beggar. No. God has given me and I am serving the Lord only. With that attitude, the attitude is very important. Dhatavyamiti yadhanam. Diyate anupakarine. See, this is also very important. Anupakarine means, you know what? Pratyupakara. Pratyupakara asamartaya. Samartaya api nirapeksham diyate. So you have to give it to such people, you very well know that they cannot give back or they cannot do anything for you. Still you have to give. Because the next stanza we are going to see, some people give only when they get something in the future through the same person. Either through wealth or through some other, some other benefits. But here it is said, diyate anupakarine. Even though you know that that person is very poor and not capable of giving you back anything, still you give. Diyate. Anupakarine. See? And deshe, kalecha, patrecha, taddhanam satvikam snutam. And in the right time, in the right place, to the right person you have to give. See, that is very important here. Shankara, he says, deshe means punya deshe, Kurukshetradi. He is saying Kurukshetradi. See, when you give the same charity in a punya kshetra, the benefits are 100 times. But here he is not for any benefit, but still it is said deshe, in the punya kshetra you have to give. And kale, Sankranti ityadi, he says. Sankranti means what? We celebrated Sankranti. So such time are very auspicious for giving, it seems. So in the right time you have to give. And patre. Patre means here he says Shadanga adi. Shadanga Vidveda parage. Those Brahmanas who have mastered scriptures, 4 Vedas and the Shadangas, everything. Meaning what? To the needy and poor. Patra marindi pichaidu. To the needy we have to give. Not that we have to splash it around. See, nowadays Annadhanam is given and all rich people only eat. But it is for the poor and needy, na? So patre means you have to see whether they need it really. And then give. That is Satvika Dhanam. So you are not expecting anything back in return. Even though you understand that that person cannot give you back anything, still you give. Why? It is my dharma to give. And you are not seeing the person there, you are seeing the Lord only there. See, one of our Swamiji used to narrate a story. See, one person went to Kashi, it seems, and he had a wonderful bath and all. And then it is a tradition that they bring Kashi Jalam and they come to Rameshwaram and perform Abhishekam there. See, even before starting, they go to Rameshwaram and take the Sedu Samudratlenda, some sands they take and they put it in the Ganges. This is the tradition. So one great devotee, after taking a bath in Ganges, he was bringing the Ganga Jal, it seems. And on the way to Rameshwaram, he saw a donkey dying out of thirst. It was really suffering. He could see it. He is desperate, he is desperate need of water. So he thought about his own Ishtadevata, the Lord Shiva, and he poured that Ganga Jal in its mouth. And he said, Parameshwara is so pleased. See, we think only when we go and perform Abhishekam he is pleased. More than that, when you serve his, creatures, his children, he is very pleased. So therefore, even though you know that you may not get anything back, that person cannot in any way do anything, any favor to you, still you give. That is Satvika Dhanam. And also Saryana Patram. See, the Deshe and Kale, Bhagavan Shri Krishna is saying, I have nothing to comment, but more than that, Patre, meaning the right person you have to identify who is really in need. And here Shankara says, you should not give to people like, thieves, no, you should not give. And those who are already rich, you should not give. That's what he is going to say in the next verse. So this is Satvika Dhanam. Then what is the Rajasika Dhanam? As usual, Yatyu pratyupakarartam phalam uddishya va punaha diyate cha pariklishtam taddhanam raja samsmrutam yattu pratyupakarartam phalam uddishya va punaha diyate cha pariklishtam taddhanam raja samsmrutam. Here Yattu dhanam pratyupakarartham. You expect something in return always. Kaletu ayam mam pratyupakarishyati iti. In the future, in due course, this person would be of some benefit to me. So, with that attitude you give. See, pratyupakarartham, pratyupakaram. He may do something good for me in future. Edukku irukkatum. Your investment mari kuduthu ippo ippo. You will give it now. Later he will come back to me with this attitude. See, even people give advertisement, they don't give it to everybody. Only when they get real, what is that they call? No, not sponsor. Only when they get lot many people viewing it. Visibility. Yeah, okay. Viewership, visibility. Then they give advertisement. Otherwise, they don't give. For our ashram, if you ask, they say, where is your ashram? 10 kilometers away. How many people are there? Only myself. How many people come there? Occasionally, 1 or 2 will come. Then how will they give advertisement or whatever? There are 1,000 people coming? Yes. See? Pratyupakarartham. See, nothing is given free. In US and all, they say there is no free lunch. So, pratyupakarartham. And not only that, phalam uddishya punaha means atava asya dhanasya me bhavishyati adrushtamiti. Because of this dana, I gain punya and then I reach swarga. Adrushta means what? Which is not seen now. So, I may reach swarga and there I may enjoy. If you give with this attitude, then it is rajasika dhanam. So, dhatavyam iti yadhanam. I have to give, it is my duty, it is my dharma. And there is great joy in giving. Like that, if you give, it is satvika dhana. And not only that, diyate cha pariklishtam. Meaning what? He doesn't want to give actually. But somehow, sometimes he is forced to give. Manase illama. So much of, dukkha, pain in the heart. Seri poi tola. He gives. Pariklishtam means what? With so much of pain in the heart and half-heartedly, not joyfully. Because some people, for them money is very dear. And to part with money is very difficult. But sometimes these people don't leave. They always go to them for donation. Today Guruji was saying a story, that Swami drove away the ghost by asking donation. That is Gurudev's joke, a famous joke that is. So, when again and again the same person comes to you and asks for please, 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 then you can't do anything, say, poi tola, like that. And sometimes, it's a nuisance when you stop in front of the traffic light and all. Romba paridama, the child, they come and ask. You don't want to give, but sometimes they don't go away. So you just, okay, po. That is not the way to give. Because that is tamasic in fact. Rajasic also, tamasic also. Pariklishtam means what? Not wholeheartedly. Manase illama, chumma. Say, poi tolaidungra mari. Tad dhanam rajasam smritam. Please remember that dhanam is rajasic. You should not give that way. And then, what is tamasic? Adesha kale yadhanam apatrebhyascha diyate asatkritam avajñatam tattamasamudahridam. Adesha kale, not in the proper place, not during proper time. That is what he said here. Yadhanam apatrebhyascha diyate. Apatrebhyascha means here says murka taskaridibhyo deshadi sampattau cha asatkritam. For an idiot if you give, who will squander away the money? Murka. And taskaradi means what? Taskaradi means for the thief who is already looting. Or in other words, if you give to politician, it is all tamasic dhana. You should not give. You only to the needy one. So, adesha kale yaddanam apatrebhyascha diyate. When you give it to the wrong person, one who is not in need, one who is acting as if he is in need. So, you have to really check the background and know whether it will be utilized properly, then give. Because it has been earned through hard sweat and toil. Why should you throw it away? You understand? Only for the needy it has to be given. And asatkritam, avajñatam. What is the meaning of asatkritam? Priya vachana, pada prakshalana, pujadi rahitam. How you have to give? With humility you have to give. You have to talk nicely. And here he goes to the extent saying that you have to wash his feet and worship him and then give. Dhanam. That for the elders, for the real Brahmanadis, you have to give that way. But for the beggars and others, at least, you should not disrespect them. You should respect them as a human beings, because God is there in him also. So, asatkritam means disrespecting him. And avajñatam means insulting him sometimes. Insulting means what? One of valley kadayadu. Ipa paar vanduruvaanga. Like that, insulting them. If you give, it is tamasik dhanam. For that you can keep quiet and not utter a word and don't give also. But if you abuse them and then give, no use at all. It has no prayojanam at all. It is tamasik dhanam. So without respect and on top of it insulting somebody, if you give dhanam, it is not at all useful in any way. Because we are disrespecting the Bhagavan in that person. Is it not so? And we are so arrogant and very egoistic in our approach. So therefore such dhanam given with ego and arrogance is tamasik dhanam. So when we understand what are the sattvic yajna, worship, sattvic austerities and sattvic dhanam, then when we can bring it into our lives and accordingly when we can live, then our heart will be transformed. We are generating more and more sattva in our hearts. So that is why he has taken so much of pain to elaborately explain what is sattvic, rajasic and tamasic in all these activities. First we saw in ahara niyamam with respect to food. Because it's very, very important now, because every day we eat food, we live eating only now. So ahara niyamam. And then for the grihasthas it is said yajna, tapa, dhanam. So with these three things he has explained. And then now he takes up another topic. Honestly speaking, I am not very familiar with this topic, but still it is given, we have to explain. See, here it is said, while performing yahe yajnati or tapasharya or dhanam, suppose if there are some defects, knowingly or unknowingly, how to nullify those effects, or those defects, how to nullify and how to make it purnam. Ittu nerappradhu solluvalle, kutram kurayundal ittu nerappradhu. If there are some defects also, what can you do to make it a fulfilled one? Kutram kurayillam niraiva seiradhu. Adukku enna seiyanum? What we should do? That is explained. And he has taken 4 or 5 verses to explain that. But whatever I understand, I will share with you. If you want more clarification, you have to approach who knows about this subject matter. Okay. After reading Gurudev also, after reading Shankaracharya also, after reading Chidbhavananda also, I am not that thoroughly convinced because that much only I can understand. Anyway, I will tell you what it is. Om Tat Saditi Nirdeshaha. What is the tune? Adesha Kale Yaddanam. Om Tat Saditi Nirdeshaha. Brahmanastri Vidasmrutaha. Brahmanastena Vedhascha. Yajñāscha vihita pura. Om tat sadhiti nirdeshaha. Brahmanastrividhasmrutaha. Brahmanastena vedhascha. Yajñāscha vihita pura. Om Tat Sat iti. See, the great masters, the great Mahatmas, they chant Om Tat Sat. Now and then, I have seen our Swamiji also chanting Om Tat Sat. And then when he starts on a journey, he says Alak Niranjan. He says, I don't know why, what it means. Alak Niranjan. Once I asked him, what is Alak Niranjan? He said, Alok, where there is no world. Niranjan means pure. So he is remembering his own self only. Though I am roaming in this world, actually there is no world. That is only the pure self. Alak Niranjan, he says and then he starts. Likewise he says Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat. So it is said, when you chant Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat, when you are performing any Yahyajnadi, or if you are giving dhanam, or you are practicing austerities, if this is chanted Om Tat Sat, then it is said all the defects are taken care, removed, and that Yahyajnam becomes complete. That is what it is said. And here he says, Om Tat Saditi Nirdeshaha Nirdishyate Anena Iti Nirdeshaha Trividho Nama Nirdeshoha Brahmanaha Smritaha. So here it is said, this Om Tat Sat, this is a threefold designation of Brahman. See here, it is said, Nirdeshaha, it is said, Nirdishyate Anena Iti. Nirdesha means what? Is that by which a thing is specified. Nirdesha means is that by which a thing is specified, is called a Nirdesha. So here Brahman, the supreme truth, is specified by threefold designation. Threefold names or designation. What is that? Om, Tat, Sat. We all know Om means that Pranava. Om, the supreme Alambana. So it's very auspicious and indicates Brahman only. And Tat means what? In the Mahavakya, Tat Tvamasi, Tat means that, meaning that Brahma Tattva, which is the substratum of the whole universe, in which everything rises and everything goes back. That absolute, Tat. And Sat, Sat means what? That pure existence which I am. Sat. Om, Tat, Sat. These are the threefold designation of Brahman. These three words are used to indicate Brahman only. Om Tat Saditi Nirdeshaha. Brahmana Trividaha Smritaha. So meaning what? This Brahman, the supreme, is indicated by three words, designated by these three words. Om Tat Sat. And it is said, Brahmanaha Tena Vedascha Yajñascha Vihitaha Puraha. Only from that Brahman which is indicated by Om, Tat and Sat, from that supreme truth, from that absolute truth called as Brahman, all the Brahmanas and all the Vedas, because through Vedas only they learn all the mantras to propitiate, is it not so? And all the Yaha Yajñas, everything has come out. Vihitaha Pura, all that has come out from that Brahman only. Pura means in the time of creation, Pura. Ancient means in the time of creation. Vihitaha means all that is now has come out from that Brahman only. So that supreme Brahman is indicated by these three words, Om, Tat and Sat. So, whenever you are starting some sort of a new activity, you can say Om Tat Sat. If you are starting a puja or a yajna, Om Tat Sat. If you are even starting your meditation, you can start with Om Tat Sat. If you are giving Om Tat Sat. Why? Because even if we unknowingly, if we have some very sort of wrong attitudes or some sort of rajasic tendencies, everything will be taken care by that chanting Om Tat Sat. See, we should be very careful and we should do dhanam accordingly only, and even tapasarya we have to practice according to the instruction here only. But still, in spite of that, there may arise some defect. So, that can be nullified and made perfect by chanting Om Tat Sat. Then now, in detail he is explaining what is Om and when it is chanted, and what is Tat and why it is chanted, and what is Sat and what for it is chanted. So, this he is going to explain in the next 2-3 verses. What is his Om, what is his Tat, and what is the Sat. Okay. Tasmadomityudahritya yajnadhana tapakriyaha pravartante vidhanoktaha satatham brahmavadinam tasmadomityudahritya yajnadhana tapakriyaha pravartante vidhanoktaha satatam brahmavadinam. Tasmat, therefore, tasmat means therefore, Om iti udahritya, by chanting Om, iti udahritya means by chanting Om, yajna dana tapakriyaha pravartante, the great ones, the great Mahatmas, Brahmavadinam, those who are the masters of the Brahma Jnana, they start yajna, whatever yajna they are doing, dhana, whatever charity they are doing, or tapaha, whatever austeries they are practicing, and kriya, whatever action. Kriya means whatever action they are practicing. They start, pravartante means what? They start. Pravartante by chanting what? Om. Vidhana uktaha means as ordained by the scriptures. Vidhana uktaha. So, whatever ordained by the scriptures only they start, not according to their whims and fancies. Whatever the scriptures have said, yes, this has to be done, this has to be done, means that only they start. Vidhana uktaha. While starting, they chant Om. You know, it is similar to this. Whenever we start any activity, we say Vakradunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nilvignam Kurme Deva Sarva Karyeshu. We pray to Lord Ganesha, na? Why? Yadadu obstacles, Vignam irunchna, he will take care of it. But during Vedic period, these kind of gods were not, there. Were not there means what? Were not in use or were not in circulation, whatever it is. After Veda Vyasa only, all these gods came into sort of circulation, I would say, whatever it is. That's what Gurudev also explains. So there, this Brahmavadinam, one who are masters of Brahmajnana, Satatam, always they chant Om before starting any auspicious activity. Why? If it is chanted Om, whatever obstacles en route also will be taken care, and whatever defects, that also would be nullified. So, it is auspicious to chant Om. So, that is what he says, Tasmat Omiti Udahritya Yajna Dana Tapakriyaha Pravartante. They start all these activities as ordained by the scriptures, Vidhana Uktaha. So, as ordained by the scriptures only, they do their activities. So, Satatam, always these Brahmavadinam, these knowers of Brahman, they start everything by chanting Om only. Okay. Then what is Tat? Why it is chanted? For what it is chanted? Tat. In the next verse he is saying, Tadityanabhisanghaya Palam yajñatapakriyaha Dhana kriyascha vividaha Kriyante moksha kangshibihi Tadityanabhisanghaya Phalam yajñatapakriyaha Dhana kriyascha vividaha Kriyante moksha kangshibihi Tadditi. Tad, Om Solyachi, but Tad. Tadditi. Why they say Tad? Because this Tad denotes Brahmabhidhanam, Acharya. Because this indicates, Tat indicates that Brahma Tattva, which is substratum of all, the absolute truth. So why they chant that? Anavisanghaya cha karmanaha palam. Meaning, Anavisanghaya means what? Not expecting any fruits. By saying Tad, meaning what? That. Meaning what? Everything is offered unto him. Like that, something like that, Tad. Tad means that. So, why they say Tad? While saying Tad, it is as if they remember that everything is offered unto him. So, not for me, not for my personal gain. That, Tat, for that and that alone. Yajñaha, tapaha, kriyaha, dhana kriyascha, vividaha, kriyante. So I am doing all this yajna, tapas, dhana, all this activity not for my sake, for that sake. Tad, iti. Kriyante, moksha kangshabihi. Those who are desirous of moksha, liberation, they always perform all their actions without expecting any fruits of their own action, offering unto the Lord. So how they do it? By saying Tad, remembering that Tad, for his sake, not for my sake, for his sake. For that Brahman, I am offering everything. Like that, see, it is not said here. That is how I see it. See, Om means before starting anything, auspicious thought. Om. Like I feel it is like worshipping Ganesha to remove all the inauspiciousness, all the obstacles, something like that. I feel that way. And Tad means to remember that for that sake, for Brahman's sake, for his sake, for the Lord's sake, for not my sake. With that attitude, they start all their kriyas, all their activities. And what for this Sat is chanted? Om, Tat and Sat. See here, this is what is very peculiar. What is Sat? Sat bhave sadhu bhave cha sadidityet prayujyate prashaste karmani tatha sat shabdha partha yujyate sat bhave sadhu bhave cha sadityetat prayujyate prashaste karmani tatha sat shabdha partha yujyate. What is the meaning of Sat? Sat bhave, meaning what? Here Shankara says, asataha sat bhave yata avidhyamanasya putrasya janmani tatha. What he is saying, which was not there, and it has come into existence. To indicate that Sat is used. Sat means what? Generally, existence. So, which was not there and which has come into existence. So, during the birth of a child, Sat is uttered, it seems. Sat bhave, meaning what? Means something new is born. So, is what he is saying. When something has come into existence, then it is indicated by Sat. Or another meaning, Sadhu bhave. Sadhu bhave means what? Asadvrittasya, asadoho, sadvrittata sadhu bhavaha, tasmin sadhu bhave cha saditi etad abhidhanam brahmanaha. These brahmanas or these learned ones, when they find a terrible criminal, see, that is what he said, asadvrittasya, always having criminal thoughts, vulgar thoughts, asadoho, therefore he is very asadu, sadvrittata sadhu bhavaha, when he suddenly changes his heart and becomes a noble person, like our Valmiki. He was a daylight robber and he became suddenly sadhu. So, to indicate such a transformation, Sad is used. So, Sad means something coming into existence. So, which was not there, like Putra, the son or daughter, and the birth is indicated as Sat. Or those who are very terrible, very wicked, when they change and become very noble, Sadhu Jano, it is indicated as Sad. Abhidhanam brahmanaha prayujyate tatra uchyate. So there they indicate such things as Sat. And not only that, prashaste karmani tata tashabdaha partha yujyate. Prashaste karmani means during auspicious ceremonies, spiritual ceremony or religious rites, this Sad is used. For example, he says, Vivahadaucha tata Sat-shabdaha partha yujyate prayujyate iti etad. During the time of wedding and all, it is auspicious thing, na? They say Sad. Sadnado, nallade nadakattum solluvom illaya. So you know what it is said, during the time of Tirumangalya Dharanam, they say Kettimelam, they say dun 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 in South India and all. And the Nadaswaram, pi 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 pi. Why they are doing that? Because that is a very auspicious moment. Even accidentally, the bride and groom should not hear anything inauspicious. Somewhere outside, somebody may saying something, you know. So, to nullify all those effects, this Kettimelam like that, Nadaswaram, everything is something like that. So, they say Om Tat Sat, Sat, like that. Tatastu, they say na, something good. They say Tatastu, Apadiyahatum. So, like that, Sat is chanted so that whatever inauspicious thing is uttered is nullified during the auspicious occasion. And when something has come into existence, Sat, and somebody who is very bad has become very good, then Sat, it is indicated by Sat. So that is how it is explained. Huh? So therefore, Om, that is the Pranava, sacred symbol of the Lord. So in Yoga Shastra it is said, as we have got names, when our name is called, we turn back and say what? Like that, it is the name of the Lord, it is said. When you chant Om, he will turn back and ask, Enna venu unak. It is said in Yoga Shastra, I am not joking. It is the name of the Ishvara, it is said. So that is Om. So while beginning any auspicious activity, you say Om and begin. And Tat means that Brahman, it indicates the Brahman is substratum of all. So you remember everything is for his sake. So you offer everything unto him and then you perform your activity. Sat means what? This is the truth. Sat. So when something is born or using auspicious occasion like wedding, the priest chants Om Tat Sat. Sat means let everything be auspicious. So prashaste karmani chat shabdaha yujyate he partha. Partha, this chat shabda is, yujyate means it is uttered during these auspicious occasions. And also, sat means something else also. What it means, the next shloka is saying. Yagne tapasi dhane cha stithi saddhiti chochyate karma chaiva tattiyam sadityeva vidhiyate yagne tapasi dhane cha stithi saddhiti chochyate karma chaiva tadartiyam saddityeva vidhiyate. See, he says, yagne tapasi dhane cha stitihi. Stitihi means steadfastness. When you are steadfast in performing your duties, yahe yajnadi, or in your meditation, japa and meditation, that is tapasya, austerities, or in giving, when you are steadfast, stitihi, then it is indicated with a term called sat. Otherwise what? We are erratic, is it not so? Sometimes we do something and other times nothing. Sandhya Vandan, when will you do? Adikona Ammavasikana Seva. Ammavasikana. Not every day, no. When will you meditate? Whenever I am inspired. When will you be inspired? I don't know. So stitihi means what? Consistently. When you perform such activities, steadfast, stitihi. See here, Shankara in his commentary uses this again and again. Yajna karmani ya stitihi, tapasi cha ya stitihi, dane cha ya stitihi, sa cha saddhiti uchyate. So this stitihi should be added with all the activities. So when something is done steadfast, it is indicated by the term sad. And not only that, karma chaiva tadartiyam. When an activity, when an action is done for his sake, Ishvara's sake, then that activity is called as sad. It's a auspicious activity. See, whenever any action is offered unto him, for his sake you are doing, then it is sad. It is auspicious. But if it is done only for one's sake, it is asad, inauspicious. Why it is asad? It creates vasanas. And vasanas mean more desire and more thoughts and always into the world doing this or that. And then in samsara. So that activity, that action performed for his sake, for God's sake, Ishvara's sake, tadartiyam, for Ishvara's sake. That is indicated here as sad. Saditi eva abhidhiyate. That action also is called as sad. So whatever is performed consistently, steadfast, that is called as sad. And on top of it, whatever is done for the sake of the Lord is called as sad. Then what is asad? This is sad we understand. What is asad? In the next verse he is saying what is asad. This is most beautiful. This last verse is very beautiful. Here he says what is asat. Ashraddhaya hutam dhattam tapastaptam kritam chayat asad ityuchyate partha nacha tat pretya noiha. Please remember this verse, very, very impactful verse. Ashraddhaya hutam dhattam tapastaptam kritam chayat asad ityuchyate partha nacha tat pretya noiha. Ashraddhaya hutam. whatever yajna is performed without any shraddha, without faith, ashraddhaya. Whatever is performed without shraddha in the heart. See, sometimes you may say, I don't understand, I am not convinced. That is fine, but if you have shraddha in the scriptures, in the Mahatmas, then you should believe, okay, now I don't understand, but there must be something in it, some highest good in it. That is why they are asking us to do. So with this shraddha, we have to do it. See, it will be very much evident in your body language, you know. The way you perform, if you are with full of shraddha, romba adakka udukama bhavyama you do. See, sometimes the parents, they compel their children to do things. They are not very into it. What they do? The body language itself suggests that they are not into it. Chumma they are doing it to please their parents. Ashraddhaya. Hutam. Hutam means whatever oblations poured without any shraddha. Dattam. Whatever is given without shraddha. Ashraddhaya adheyam. In Taittiriya Upanishad it is said, during the third chapter it is said, you don't give without shraddha. It is sin actually. Only when you have got shraddha you have to give. Ashraddhaya tapaha taptam. If you practice austerity also without faith, என்னமோ சொல்லியிருக்காங்க செஞ்சு பார்ப்போம் தெரியாது எனக்கு. I don't know where all this austerity will lead, I don't know. But anyway, let us do. Like that, if you perform, you are already half-hearted. And there is no Shraddha Bhakti means there is no beauty in it. Similarly, Kritam Chayat, whatever actions you do, whether you are listening to the scriptures or even when you are cooking, whatever you are doing, if you do it without the mind in it, without giving your best, half-heartedly, then what he says, asad iti uchyate he partha, that activity is called as asad. Asad means what? Amangalam, inauspicious only. And nacha tat pretya, no iha. It will not be of any use even after you dropping this body or iha in this world also. It will not be having any prayojanam. No use of such activities. Iha means either here or hereafter. Pretya means after giving up the body, means when you go to other worlds also, it has no use. How important this Shraddha is. So see, Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga is concluded by saying, whatever you do it with Shraddha and Bhakti. If not, don't do it. Chuma kadamikin poika seyakudadu. I have seen a lot of young fellows, this Upanayanam is done at the age of 7, 8. Already they are half-hearted. They are very interested in watching IPL match. But the mother says, you go, do Sandhyavandanam, do Sandhyavandanam. Okay, I will do. I will finish it off. Why I am showing this, all those are kriyas. Apo ishta, mayo bhuva, sana ujita dadana. So like that they do. They do. Enga appa appadina seivaru. Ennada adikra ee adikra kosu adikra. Top they do. Whatever they do. And om bus. There is no Shraddha Bhakti. You finish it off within 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I have finished my Sandhyavandanam. How I can go and watch? Poi tola. Although Shraddha Bhakti only he watches for 3 hours, 4 hours. So meaning what? Without Shraddha, if you do such kind of Sandhyavandan, there is no use of that Sandhyavandan. Allah ஆறுதலாக உட்கார்ந்து பகவான் நினைச்சு மனசு ஒன்றி அப்படி செஞ்சாலே அதுக்கு பிரயோஜனம். When you chant the mantra properly and think of the Lord Sun, see, since because the Lord Sun is invoked, you should not do late night. After 7 o'clock you should not do. My Tata used to say, Kanamal, Konamal, Kandugodu. In Tamil he used to say. Kanamal means what? Early morning, before the sunrise. The Ushat Kalam they say. Meaning 5:30 and all. That is the time we have to do Sandhyavandan. That is the junction, Sandhi. The night is departing and the day is coming, the Sandhi. Kanamal means without looking, before the sunrise. Not seeing the sun, you should give argyam and all. Kanamal. Konamal means what? When he's on the uchila, konamal, straight on top of your head at 12 o'clock or whatever, noon. Kandu Kudu. When he is there, you have to give argya in the evening. Not after he is vanishing. But now people do whenever they want. So morning, 8:39 before going to office, they do it and they finish the Madhyanam also along with the Sandhya Vandanam. Why? There is no time. And then evening when they come back by 7:38 also, they do it. But it has to be done properly and more importantly with Shraddha and Bhakti. First of all, we should understand why we are doing, how it is stress and what it can do to us. When you are aware of that, then you will do it properly with Shraddha and Bhakti. If you are forced, then you will do it without any involvement, isn't it so? So it is said, whatever is said, whatever is done without Shraddha, it is called asad, false, hypocrisy, inauspicious, whatever you want to call. Asad idi uchyate, because mat prapti sadhana marga bahyatvat. Because it will not take you to the goal actually. What for it is done, yajna or tapasharya or dhanam, for the chitta shuddhi and for the paramatma prapti, na, it will not take you there. Therefore, it is useless. Not here also, hereafter also. Na iha means, no iha means what? Not here. And tat pretya, even after giving up this body, it will be of no use. So therefore, with Shraddha and Bhakti only, everything has to be done. So today what we have seen, whenever we are doing Yaha Yajna or austerities, practicing austerities or dhanam, always there can be some defects or unknowingly we may have some other attitude. So to nullify and to make it complete, we have to chant Om Tat Sat. So that is how the masters, the Brahmavadinaha, those who are knowers of Brahman, the scholars and great Panditas, they chant Om Tat Sat. During the Yaga Yajna times, they chant Om Tat Sat. So he says Om indicates the Supreme. It is a Supreme Alambanam, is the name of the Lord. So beginning any action you chant Om. So when Tat is chanted, you remember that it is for him, not for me. So without expecting any fruit, you perform it selflessly. And Sad means what? Consistently. Whatever you do, steadfast. So Sad indicates whatever comes into existence. And whenever a person transforms himself to be a good person, and whenever an auspicious rite is conducted, Sat is chanted to nullify all the evil effects, inauspicious effect. And very importantly, Sad means to be steadfast in our practices. And whatever is done for him also is called as Sat, Satkarya. Illaya, Satkarya ennathom? It is done for his sake, offering unto him. And for God's sake, don't ever do anything without Shraddha. Without Shraddha or Bhakti, don't do anything because that will be of no use. You are wasting your time. And it will become a habit. It will become a habit. Everything, you are not, sincere about anything. Everything you are superficial. Running, and you are not into anything. And whatever indulgence, entertainment, that only you are very, very happy and sincere. All the good things you are not sincere at all. Then how can you walk in this path? So therefore, Ashraddhaya hutam dattam tapastaptam kritam chayat asadidi uchyate partha nacha tat pretya no iha. It is of no use either here or hereafter. So with this 17th chapter, Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga ends, completed. Om Tat Sadhiti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yogo Nama Saptadashodhyayaha. I thought that there are 9 verses, so it may take tomorrow also, at least half the class I thought. But all these things, not much to explain. Therefore, we have completed it today only. So tomorrow morning 7 o'clock we will start the last chapter, 18th chapter. What is that 18th chapter called? Moksha Sannyasa Yogam. Moksha Sannyasa Yogam. So it is a very big chapter, long, the longest. So we have got 77 verses. What is that? 78. Apdi extra one vanduchu ungalku. I have got only 77. I will see. 78. Okay, maybe 78. Okay. Yeah. So, yes, 78. So we will see from tomorrow onwards, and probably we may need 11 classes. 11 classes means tomorrow is what? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So 5 twos are 10, and Sunday 1 class, 11. So we can complete. Suppose if you are going through and we may need 1 or 2 classes, that is Friday or Saturday, we will have one more. Saturday we cannot have, we have the valedictory function. Maybe Friday we can have 1 more extra class. Thursday or Friday we can have extra classes, if at all required. I don't think we would be requiring it, but we will see how it goes. We don't want to rush through anything. We want to do it everything slow and steady. So we will see. Om Purnamadha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.